What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we have an 08 CRV we're going to be working on, and it's got 2.4. We're going to be doing an air compressor in this, and Freon is already out of it. Might be a little bit. You can see hardly anything's coming out, so no Freon in it, but we do have the new one right here. That we're going to be putting a pressure switch in it too. I think this is it. Pressure switch should be 37312. Let me make sure I see it before I give you all the part number. Yep, that's it right there. Let me get the box back in there. Part number to the compressor. This is the Import Direct. You got it from O'Reilly's, not a sponsor, but 98580. That's it right there. It is a brand new unit, not a rebuilt. But we're going to get this up on the lift so I can climb underneath there, take the belt off, and start pulling the compressor, because we'll do everything underneath the car. That way it's a lot easier. And yes, I know not everybody has a lift, but I'm going to utilize it just because I do. But this will show y'all general how to do all this. So I'm going to shut the hood down just so I don't mess up anything. Gotta hold it. There we go. So I'll start with pulling this tire off, and then after I pull this off, I can pull this shield right here out, because I can get up in there with my ratchet and stuff, and we can take the belt off. So let me do that real quick. As you can tell, I did pull the belt off on this. It is a 14 millimeter, and you like to pull it back towards the back of the car. I just put another wrench in here, give myself some leverage so I can do it, because they are pretty tight on these. You're going to have to go on the nut of the actual pulley. It's on the front of it. Once I pull the compressor out, I'll try to have a flashlight in there and show it to y'all, but I don't know how well that'll go. It's a real tight area. Like I said, you can get it from the top. There's a lot of stuff in the way, and you don't have a lot of movement on top. So it's just best to do it through here, because you can get a little better access, and you can pull the belt off of the water pump right here a little bit easier. I think that's the water pump. Yeah, it should be the water pump. Losing my mind on it right now. I'll show you on the new compressor where everything is. Got a line right here, line on the top, connector is right there. It's just a push tab, slide it forward. Then you have 2 bolts on the top, 2 on the bottom. So I think they're 10s or 12s. Don't hold me on that, I can't remember. Whenever I pull them out, I will show it to you. But you will pull it out through here. This is the front. Once you do it, you're gonna have some little pop clips all the way down in here, because that's got to fold it down. You can tell it's extremely dirty, but we do have to pull it out through this area. You can get it out. It's going to be a little tight. You might have to take that off so you can move this line. Sometimes I can get it, sometimes I can't. It just depends on how tight this line is. I've done them before without taking them off, but I've had some I had to take off. I know I'm rambling, but here's your lines. Like I said, everything's accessed through there, and try to give y'all a better picture. But your 2 bottom ones are right there. The hardest thing to get to is this upper line. You will have to pull that upper line, or typically I pull it once I get it loose, just because it does give me a little bit more leverage to get inside there, or a little bit more room, not leverage, but a little bit more room up inside there to pull that 10 millimeter off. And yeah, these look like they are 10 millimeters as well, but the connector is right there. Let's see if I can get it off real quick. Oh, there it goes. So I got the connector off. Now my glove is stuck. I don't poke a hole in it. But now all I gotta do, I'm gonna pull this line off first, then I'll take the bottom bolts and the upper bolts off. Then whenever it comes down a little bit, we'll take the upper line off. But the new compressor did come with O-rings. They are right here. We're just using some PAG 46. That's what it calls for. I gotta look up to see how much, but once I get it look it up, I'll let y'all know how much everything is, Freon, oil, everything. And then before we put Freon in it, we will put this pressure switch on it. I will show y'all where it's at. Okay. Compressor is out, and I did have to take this little bracket right here off that holds, I think it goes to the power steering. I think it's your power steering filter. I know it's kind of dark. Let me grab my phone. So I did have to take that right there off. I think that's your power steering filter, and it's just 10 millimeter right there. I moved it and it pulled out right through there. Still can't see the tensioner, but it is up there above the water pump, kind of in the middle. Like I said, you can see where my wrench is a little bit, but it's up in there, and it is 14 millimeter. The bolts for the mounting brackets, they were 12s, and I forgot to tell y'all, on the back of these, the top portion has these little hooks on here, so you can slide it up in there and set it down, so it makes the install a lot easier. I mean, way easier. I do like that they do that. You just have to lift it up a bit. This top line right there was really tight, so I had to put that in there, and I got it out with a quarter ratchet, but it was really hard, and like I said, it was probably over torqued, but it probably is the factory one. I'm guessing it is. Oh, also on these cars, there is a recall on these for the back upper control arms. Figure I'd let y'all know that in this video. I don't know when I'll do another one, or if I'll ever do a back upper control arm. But you take it to Honda, they inspect it. If they are able to get the bolt out, they will get the bolt out and put like a upper control arm kit in there that lets you get out, but they seize up in there and the nuts will break off inside the body, and they will total the car out, and they'll buy the car out from you, I believe, too. So if you ever get like a knocking or something in your back, like rear of the cars, take it to Honda, let them inspect it, see if it is the control arm, and if they can get the bolt out. If they can, they'll put that kit in there, and it allows you to get it out much easier. But if it doesn't come out, they will total the car, just to let you know that. I don't know what years it runs. I'll look it up and give it to y'all in the description below, but I don't know what years that applies to. But now what we're going to do is we're going to pull these caps off of this, and I gotta find somewhere to sit, get some stuff out of the way. This ain't my toolbox, just to let y'all know. My garage is actually clean. My wife cleaned it, thankful for her. But we're going to pull these caps off. You should hear air release because they should be pressurized, just to show that they are sealed. But you'll pull these off, and we're going to put some pad oil in there. I have to look it up, still haven't figured out how much goes in there. But, and also while I'm in there, we'll go ahead and change the O-rings on the lines. So let me take these off and set y'all up so y'all can kind of watch this actually. Me have to get a wrench for that one. I'm actually probably going to reuse these bolts instead of the ones that come off of it, just newer, and the other ones are a little rusted. Yeah, that stud trying to come out on me. Get these out. We have to use a pair of pliers. Heard it just suction. So keep these plugs, just because before I put it up in there, I'm gonna put it on the back one over here. I'm gonna redo that one because when I put it up in there, I don't want any of the oil to drain out of it until I get ready to put the line on. The upper one right here, you ain't really got to worry about. It shouldn't drain out of that. And they reposition the line so it doesn't come behind right here, where the factoring comes behind the little hooks that they sit in. so that way you don't pinch your lines, which I like that a lot better. And this is import direct part, so they're pretty good. It might be a cheaper Murray, who knows. But now we're going to rotate this, get all the oil that's in there out of it that we can, and then we'll put back in the correct amount of oil. And how you're going to do that is you're just going to put your hand on the clutch and rotate it. And then as you rotate it, oil should come out of one of the ports. So I'm not going to do that on camera just because it's going to take a while and I don't want to bore y'all with that. Looked up how much goes in here and it costs for 70. I'm going to put 60. I just use these little medicine cups right here because they normally are in like 15 milliliter increments, but it takes 70 milliliters. I'm going to put 60 because I know there's probably still some residual in there and you normally don't get them all out. So 60 should be enough. We can go a little over the 30 mark. I've already put like 130, so just gonna go to 30 and mark a little bit on it this time. And then I'm pouring it right in the top right here. Come out well, y'all can actually see me. Yeah, a little bit better. But like I said, I'm gonna pour it in this top portion right here. We'll probably put about 65 in there. Like I said, this is PAG 46. And make sure there's no dirt on this one. I'll be honest, more than 70 probably come out of it. But this thing was really full. Kind of push that down in there just for the time being. But let me clean this off real quick. I can go right here when y'all camera. Y'all know that I actually did it. I don't know how well y'all trust me yet. So yeah, y'all do trust me. I'll do this on camera. So got most of it off. Get it out right there. Now we can go back up in there, set it down, get this top one started. Like I said, I'm going to use the bolt that come out of it. I'm going to go ahead and thread it in there a couple of threads real quick. And I'm also going to use the nut to come off of it. This is in a lot better shape than the one that come off of it originally, I should say. So yeah, let me put this back in there. We'll hang it from the hooks. That way I can start the bolts with these, and then we can start putting Freon in. Oh, I do have to do the pressure switch. Don't want to forget about that. So let me get this in there, get all the hoses and everything on, change all the O-rings before I put that in there. Like I said, it does come with the 2 O-rings right there. So let me change these real quick. They're on the hoses, by the way. And once I get this in there, we'll go and change the pressure switch. Get everything back on, compressor's on, it's torque, or not really torque, but tightened down. The power steering filter, I put it back on. Put a little bit of PAG oil around your O-rings, and so that way they slide in a lot easier whenever you go to put the lines in. You don't risk tearing or rolling the O-rings because you will have a leak there if you do that. But there's no torque spec really on this stuff. Just use your common knowledge on this, and judgment. Just don't over torque because everything on here is going into aluminum and you will strip it out easy. And the bolts and the studs and the nuts and all that are steel. So just, like I said, just use common knowledge and common sense on doing it. Just don't crank down on them super tight. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the pressure switch now. Here's your inner fender right here on the front passenger side. Lift this back. Get out of my way. And there it is right here. I already took the connector off. I know it's a little dark, but it is right there. I'm just using a crest wrench to take it out. There is no Schrader valve, so if you take that out, you will lose all your Freon if you haven't drained it. That's why I'm doing it now when the Freon is already out of it. Pressure switch was like $50, so you may as well go ahead and change it. It is just a good choice to do at this point, in my opinion. If I can get my crescent wrench in here, actually, because it is a little tight, and it shouldn't be super tight. I just broke it loose pretty easy. The connector was fairly easy to pull out. I know you can't see anything, but here it is. Here's an O-ring on it. Here's the new one. I already showed y'all the part number, but if y'all didn't see it, then here it is. Right there, 37312. And put a little bit of haggle on that as well, just so it doesn't hurt anything. There we go. Throw it up in here. Where are you? Come on. I know y'all can't see anything because this is in the way. But I'm screwing it in as tight as I can by my hands. And I'm just going to go over it. Just put a little extra on it with the crescent wrench if I can get it up in there. Just don't do it enough to where it starts bending the line, because that is a thin line and you don't want any kinks in it. And if you kink it up, it will have some flow issues, and then you're going to have pressure issues and possibly other issues. Come on, ain't you getting on there? And hold my mouth right. Oh yeah, there we go. Well, pressure switch is on. That easy. And funny thing is, it calls for like an hour and a half to do this. Ain't that crazy? But it only calls for 2.5 hours to do the compressor, then another hour to charge the system, then it calls for an hour and a half to change that pressure switch, which I'm not going to charge them hour and a half to do that. Just probably charge them like another half an hour, if anything. And then I'm going to put all this back on. We'll lower the car down and put the tire back on. I think these lug nuts torque to like 105, 110, maybe 95. I don't know, I have to look it up, but I'll put it in the description. But and torque these back down real quick after I put all this on. Then we'll start pulling a vacuum and we'll charge the system with the correct amount. It does call for 19 ounces of Freon. So I'm just using this right here. Not a sponsor or anything, but that's Chemours, the Freon 134A. These are the 12 ounce cans right there, 340 grams. And I'll just use whatever brand Pagwell you have. It don't matter, it's all about the same. But let me lower this down and start pulling the vacuum and get all this stuff back together. And once I pull the vacuum, I know I've shown it multiple times on videos, but in case y'all haven't seen those, I'll show it again. Gauges are hooked up, blue to the low, red to the high, yellow goes to the vacuum pump. We have them on here. The ports are right here, there, and the high side is up here on close to the firewall. So we got those open. So now we're going to make sure that these are closed for the time being. Turn on our vacuum pump. Then we're going to open each side, no matter which one. Open. Here's the compressor, pump, change tones, and then while it's doing this, just let it sit for about 15 minutes. Oh, also make sure that your vacuum pump does have oil in it. Don't want to ever do that. There's no oil, but just let it sit here for about 15-20 minutes, do its thing, and then once it finishes that, this right here should come down to about 28 inches of vacuum. This right here doesn't really have a measurement, so it's going to come below zero. As long as it goes below zero, it should be fine. So all we're doing is just pulling out any moisture in the system, just in any possible air. That way this checks for leaks, and whenever you close them off after you turn it off, it lets you see if any vacuum is lost. If it does, it means you got a leak somewhere. But we'll let this sit here for about 15 minutes, and then once I get finished with that, close them off. Let it sit for another 15-20 minutes. We haven't lost more than like 2 or 3 inches of vacuum. We should be good. So it's been sitting for probably about 25 minutes now, and it doesn't really looks like it's lost any pressure, which is good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect everything, and after we do that, we are going to start filling it up. Let me unplug this. come on. Get this out of the way because we don't need this anymore. Set it down. And I gotta grab this right here. That's what we're gonna put the Freon in with. That's your tool number right there, 10102. Still unopened. Let's set y'all up so y'all can kind of watch this. I can watch my fat stomach. Something I always do with these is I always take these Schrader valves out right here. Now sometimes it will not let it go through. I always take them out of the one I'm using, but I keep the Schrader valve. Don't lose that. Just use a basic Schrader valve tool to do it. It'll be fine. Alright. We're going to use 1/4 can, and then we're going to use, because these are 12, we'll use 7 ounces of another, so a little over a half a can. If you can weigh it, that is the best way to do this. But come on, close. Yeah, I'll close it all the way first. Alright, let me bring y'all back. You don't have to look at my fat stomach anymore. And then it's going to open. Just let it suck in as much of this as it can from that right there. And then we're gonna go inside the car, crank her up. Yeah, if I can get inside of here. Ooh. She's a little twit. And we're going to turn the AC on. Cold, research, max AC. Alright, we got her going. Okay, so the temperature outside is about 60 degrees right now. Yeah, I know it's weird to be putting an AC compressor on in this time of the year, but it was making a lot of noise and the compressor was going bad, so we wanted to do it. At this temperature outside, you want around 20 to 25 on the low side and around 150, 175 on the high side. And you can look up charts, it kind of gives you this right here, but it's like 61 degrees outside. So, and I put in the correct amount of Freon, and the compressor, as you can hear, is running constantly. Before it was clicking off and on, and the pressures are right and all that stuff, and the compressor was actually like rattling a little bit, I believe, too. But we got the AC on. I know it's probably blowing. Yeah, and it is in the 30s. That's about what you would want, and it's constantly going down. 35, 32, yeah, we're in the 30s on, and that's the furthest away from, oh yeah, right in the middle, it's in the 20s. So, and that's the furthest away from the condenser as well, too, on the side, so, especially the driver's side. But it's looking good to me. The compressor is staying on constantly where it wasn't doing that before, and it had a weird rattle on it too, and I didn't like that. So we got it all fixed, got the pressure switch on, we got the Freon in, and all that good stuff. But this is probably going to conclude the video. If y'all got any questions, comments, concerns, any of that stuff, let me know. I'll fix it in the comment section. Let me know if I did something wrong. If I did, I'll try to fix it if I can. And I know everybody is human and everybody makes mistakes, and I make mistakes, but I'm just trying to teach people. If y'all enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and y'all remember, torque this tight, and y'all have a great day.